Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. Sitting in for Pinky Webb, I'm Ria Tanwat Cotrillo. Today on the program, less than a month before the Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections, the number of disqualification cases for premature campaigning is seen to breach 1,000. And the poll body monitors the BSKE preparations in Socorro, Surigao del Norte amid the reported illegal activities of an alleged cult. Commission on Elections Chairman George Garcia joins us in the program. And later, a lawmaker seeks an audit on Davao City's confidential fund used under the leadership of then-Mayor and now Vice President Sara Duterte. ACT Teachers Party List Representative Franz Castro tells us more later on in the show. "35 disqualification cases have been filed against candidates of the Barangay and SK elections over alleged premature campaigning, and the Commission on Elections is just getting started. The poll body sees its task force anti-EPAL filing more than 1,000 disqualification cases before the BSKE polls. Let's go straight to the source of the story, Comelec Chairperson George Garcia. Sir, good morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning, Ma'am Ria. Good morning to all the televiewers.
All right, sir. Now, the BSKE preparations. Let's talk about that. It's less than a month before the Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections. Take us through the status of the preparations. Are we all set?
We are almost 95% ready for the Barangay and SK elections. As of today, we will be distributing nationwide our accountable forms, meaning the ballots, including the election returns. Well, for the last 2 weeks, we distributed in the entire country the non-accountable forms, meaning the pens, the indelible inks, and such other non-accountable forms. So we hope to complete everything, the distribution, before the end of the second week of October. And at the same time, we are training our electoral board members, the teachers who will be serving on the day of the election on October 30. So almost 95% complete as far as preparation is concerned, Ma'am Ria.
All right, so everything done before the end of the second week of October. Now, talk to us about the areas of concern. With the last time I spoke to you, sir, you did mention that there were some hot spots. Take us through those again, and if any have been added since.
Last Thursday, the Philippine National Police submitted to the Commission and Bank a list of 246 areas of concern, meaning those who are considered as in red category. And these 246 are actually barangays in the entire country. Most of them are located in Samar and in the Bicol region. And some of these areas are likewise located in the Bangsamoro areas. And at least 2 or 3 barangays are located in the northern part of Luzon. Until today, we are reviewing the 246 declared areas, but we would like to clarify that not because they are considered as red category areas that they will be considered for purposes of the election as areas under Comelec control. That will not be the case. Areas of Comelec control is a higher level than areas of red category, and thus that would mean, therefore, existence of violence or private armed groups or the most recent violence that had erupted in the area.
All right. So, sir, you're saying that's how you categorize an area as red. Could you repeat that again? What makes you label an area as red?
Based on history, meaning if there was there were election-related violence in the past, or at the same time there were violence that happened in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and at the same time there were presence of armed groups in the area, or at the same time that it is more difficult for the voters to vote in view of the terrorism or the threat that they encounter in the last 2 or 3 weeks. And so they are considered as in the red category, but just we are functioning properly. The Comelec at the same time can hold the election by October 30, and we were able to distribute the election paraphernalia on time in these areas, though they are classified as red category.
All right. And sir, do you have a deadline as to when you will finalize the categorization of these areas?
You know, Ma'am Ria, actually what was submitted by the PNP is almost a final list. But however, as we go on and as we are about to conduct the election by October 30, the categories are always changing. Sometimes a barangay is categorized as red, but as the election nears, it will become green or become orange, or some barangays who are presently or which are presently orange will become red. And that's the reason why we are so careful in declaring as such as barangays in red categories, because that may hamper or even disrupt the economic activity in the area, more so the tourism potential of the area. So we are so very careful. Medyo dahan-dahan lang po. But definitely this week we're going to release the 246 barangays which the PNP and the AFP considered as in red category.
All right, sir. What about the barangays in Negros Oriental? Of course, earlier in the year, we had the assassination of Governor Digamo there. How are you categorizing those areas right now?
We already issued, Ma'am Ria, a resolution, the NBank resolution, which said that, number one, we will proceed with the election in Negros Oriental by October 30. We will not postpone or reset the election in the province. It is our understanding that Comelec has the full authority and can and must proceed with the election by October 30. And at the same time, our security forces, the PNP, AFP, the Coast Guard, are so prepared in the conduct of the election by October 30. But however, we are actually placing the entire province under Comelec control. We honestly believe that that is necessary, although violent or election-related violence is practically zero already in the province. But what happened in March of 2023 still has a far-reaching implication in the peace and order situation in the province, as well as in the fear present in the hearts and minds of our people there. So in order to ensure that there will be relatively peace and order situation by October 30, the entire province was placed under Comelec control. And that is also in preparation, Ma'am Ria, for the December 9, 2023 special election to fill up the position vacated for the position of congressman in the 3rd District of Negros Oriental.
All right, sir. Now, how many incidences of election-related violence have you monitored so far?
As far as the PNP is concerned, although we are also monitoring the Comelec, the confirmed election-related violence is more or less 6 already in the entire country. There were certain deaths or violence that transpired and occurred, but after verification and re-verification, it would appear that these incidents were actually of private matter or nature, meaning, like, for example, what happened in Zamboanga was in relation to a land dispute. What happened in Cotabato was actually in relation to a RIDO, a clan war. So, but not necessarily election-related, although in most instances, the victims are candidates or those who filed their candidacy for the position of barangay or barangay chairman or kagawad. But again, only 6 incidents were confirmed to be election-related.
All right, sir, I want to talk about the teachers, of course, who will form an integral part of this process. Tell us about the readiness of the teachers who are going to facilitate these polls.
We are going to utilize 846,000 teachers nationwide who will be serving as electoral board members. Take note that per precinct, we will be having 3 electoral board members, 1 chairman and 2 members. But at the same time, we are actually also training Philippine National Police personnel, like what happened in 2022 elections. We trained PNP personnel to serve as alternate or substitute electoral board members, just in case the regular EBs will not be able to serve on election day. And that happened in Cotabato City on election day. The electoral board members were not able to serve. And so we are actually training them, and the training process will end this week. And for the information of everyone, we decided to increase the honoraria to be received by electoral board members, that instead of 6,000 for the chairman and 5,000 for the members per regulation, the Comelec decided to increase the honoraria by 10,000 for the chairman and 9,000 for the regular members. That is because we would like to equalize what the teachers are receiving during the conduct of the automated election, although we are going to manualize the election by October 30. Take note that it's more tiresome to conduct the manual election instead of the automated election as compared to automated election.
That's true. Now, Vice President and Education Secretary Sara Duterte previously said that poll workers should be protected and will be provided legal assistance if necessary. Can you give us an update on this, sir?
Yes, Ma'am Ria, that's true. We entered into a memorandum agreement with the Vice President as serving also as the Secretary of Education, and at the same time, the Public Attorney's Office, Attorney Persida Acosta. And that memorandum agreement will extend legal assistance to all our 846,000 electoral board members who will be serving on election day. Therefore, either they'll be filing cases against anybody who are harassing them, or cases will be filed against them by anybody who are even threatening them or their families. So we'd like to protect them, and we honestly believe that the best lawyers now in town are those who are belonging to the Public Attorney's Office. So we will easily give them support, not only financially, but likewise the legal assistance definitely.
All right, sir, thank you for that. When we return, we'll find out how many disqualification cases the Comelec has filed and how many more we can expect. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Ria Tanwat Cotrillo, and our source today is Comelec Chairperson George Garcia. Okay, sir, I just wanted to ask you about these elections. The Barangay and Sangguniang elections will be manual, as you said. So what can we expect on October 30? How is this all going to pan out?
And therefore, when you say manual election, the voters will have to write. Now, instead of shading the ballots, there will be no machines, and therefore the electoral board members, the teachers, will be reading the ballots one by one and will be writing the results in the blackboard, as well as in the election returns located on the tables inside the precincts. Definitely, the voting will start by 7 o'clock and end by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And my guess is that in almost all the precincts nationwide, everything will be complete by 10 or to 11 o'clock in the evening. And there will be a proclamation by about 12 to 1 o'clock in the morning of the next day. And so that's the reason why we are increasing the honoraria, because of the length of hours that our electoral board members will be giving on election day.
All right. Why are we going manual for these particular elections, sir? And are there any areas at all that will have automatic voting? Or, I mean, automated voting?
Yeah, well, based on our history and our experience, always the Barangay and SK election is manual because of the expenses or the amount that we'll be needing for purposes of automating the election. And just the same, there will be no transmission of the results. The results will be canvassed and counted and canvassed only in the polling place or in the elementary school or in the school where the voting transpired. And so, but however, we decided to pilot test in 2 places in the country, in Dasmariñas, Cavite, and in District 6 of Quezon City, automated BSKE for the first time. Because we were hoping at that time that we made the decision that the next Barangay and SK election will be automated. We wanted to push for automation of the BSKE because, you know, Ma'am Ria, when you automate the election, you will practically shorten the counting period. In just a matter of 5 to 10 minutes, you will have the results. There will be less violence, and it will be very, very easy on the part of the electoral board members to conduct the election if it is automated. But however, because of the decision of the Supreme Court, which says that we proceed with the election by October 30, although the postponement supposedly by December 5 was declared unconstitutional, the next election will happen by December of 2025 already. And so we may not have the time to automate the election of 2025 because we were hoping that the next election could have been by October of 2026.
All right, sir. Now, I want to talk about the disqualification. How many disqualifications have you filed so far?
The task force on premature campaigning already filed last Friday 35 disqualification cases. I think today they'll be filing 35 to 40 again disqualification cases. It will be on an everyday basis because again the task force already issued almost 4,000 show cause orders nationwide, and almost 700 of these respondents filed already their answers, and the task force had been reviewing, assessing whether indeed there is a reasonable ground to believe that a disqualification case can be filed against this individual. So I'm predicting that more or less 1,000 disqualification case may be filed even before the election of October 30 as against these erring respondents.
Right, sir. So, are there particular areas that have the most number of premature campaigning and similar violations?
Yes, ma'am. Ria, 30% were committed here in the NCR. And of course, in certain areas in Mindanao and likewise in the Visayas. But well, to think that there were 1.414 million who filed their certificates of candidacy nationwide, the 4,000 show cause orders is not that much compared to the 1.414 million. So, ilan lang po yun. It's so small, but just the same, we would like to be serious on the filing of these disqualification cases. We would like to prove to them that we will not go easy on these violations. And of course, that is also in preparation, Ma'am Ria, for the possible filing of disqualification and election offense cases for vote buying. There will be no vote buying now for this period, but surely during the campaign period, there will be vote buying. So we would like, again, to be more serious about these instances.
All right, sir. Now, what will happen before the elections amid these pending cases? And if ever, the cases or the investigations are ongoing, but they win and are later found guilty, what happens then?
If before the election, the Commission and Bank is able to decide on these disqualification cases, the decision or the decisions become final and executory in 5 days, unless there is a restraining order from the Supreme Court, in which case all their names will have to be removed from the list of candidates. However, if for whatever reason a decision was not or is not released before the October 30 election, don't worry, because we can still disqualify these candidates even if they will win, even after the election. At the same time, we can still file election offense cases with an imprisonment of 1 to 6 years.
All right, sir, last question po. Perhaps you can give us an update on how the Comelec is monitoring the situation in Socorro, Surigao del Norte, given that, that area has been the source of controversy lately because of an alleged cult.
Yours truly was there at Butuan City the other week. And at this point, there was no election-related matter that will, of course, that will be the basis of the Comelec to act immediately in Socorro. But however, we instructed the PNP and the AFP in the area, as well as the Philippine Coast Guard, to clearly and to monitor closely the situation, because whatever is happening, for example, in the Senate and in some parts of Surigao may have an impact or implication as far as the conduct of the election is concerned. And we said that so long as the voters are able to vote and vote freely, the Comelec will not interfere. And therefore, likewise, in that area, everybody should be allowed to campaign, because there is no part in our country that the Comelec cannot extend its jurisdiction, especially during the election period. And that is also a warning to one and all that the Comelec will not hesitate to use our vast powers in accordance with the Constitution to ensure that the election will be free and orderly in any part of the country.
Well, sir, thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate speaking to you. That was, of course, Comelec Chairperson George Garcia. And coming up, amid the heated debates on the use of confidential funds, a lawmaker is urging the Commission on Audit to probe the almost 2.7 billion pesos in confidential funds allocated to the Davao City government for the past 6 years. ACT Teachers Party List Representative Franz Castro tells us more after the break. This is A Source on CNN Philippines. Stay tuned.